Hello.
Greetings. Wow, the sun just came out right in my face as soon as
Ping, just now.
Yeah. Well, excellent. It just came out from behind the branch. I think it'll go back
Oh, there we
into
are.
hiding for in a minute.
Okay. Oops, we've got the live stream here. So we can read your comments from here. Oh, Salem, Oregon. Hello. Okay, what's up? What are we going to do about that sun?
It'll go away in like under 5 minutes.
Okay.
So I'll just be bright-faced for a second. And I think the volume was fine from what I heard on our phones.
Yeah, tell us what you think. Sun looks good on y'all.
Is the volume okay? Hello
Mexico,
from Mexico
the
and
UK,
the UK.
Chicago,
The internet
Mexico.
is so cool.
Hello, Indiana, Pennsylvania.
A little low, yeah, I figured as much. Maybe I just won't whisper. How about that?
What normally has to happen when I guess we watch these through is for some reason, I think it might be the iPad and it might be the microphone. You just got to turn up the volume a little more. Sorry.
It would be nice if we could bring it closer, but we can't. So I'm sorry about it.
I wonder, okay, I'm going to jump out of order.
You can do whatever you want.
Okay, I'm looking at a different camera. I haven't been able to use my DSLR lately because the audio port in it is broken. I don't know what happened. If maybe when we were moving, I had the microphone plugged in and it got bumped, but now the microphone port within the camera doesn't work. So
Unless you like finagle the mic just right in the port.
yeah, so I've been looking at other camera options, and this other camera I'm looking at would allow for us to use it while live streaming. So that could be a big improvement on live streams.
But if anybody wants a 6D Mark II, a Canon 6D Mark II,
Yeah, if there's any photographers who
Yeah.
don't mind the audio jack being messed up.
or videographers that know how to, they could
Fix
like fix
that.
it, but
Yeah.
we can't find the part for some reason.
I'm going to be selling it really soon. I've never sold a camera online before, so if anyone's interested, maybe let me know.
But we're looking at an EOS R because most of our videos, the last 10 plus videos have been shot on Elsa's iPhone Pro,
Yeah,
which is pretty incredible
yeah.
because you can't really even tell on YouTube at least that it's not shot on a nice camera.
The quality is less. It's lower than, like, there's no depth of field when shooting with an iPhone versus a camera, but to have, this has 3 lenses on the camera already. Like, this is unbelievable. Phone cameras are the best.
Thank you, Rachel, for the donation.
Thank you, Rachel.
Kicking it off with a Shiba punch.
So this has been super, 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 super amazing to
And
have.
we'll probably still shoot most of the things on that.
I wouldn't say most. I would like to get a nice, the DSLR is just really big, the 6D. It's so nice, but it's really big. Cindy, thank you.
You stopped dashing? Where were you dashing?
To say hi from Redmond, Oregon.
Oh.
Hi in Redmond.
Thank you, LaFonda. She said thank you for living my dream.
Thank you.
Thank you for helping us live your dream. Hi from Washington. But yeah, we're just looking at cameras and that's all. So if you need a 6D and want one, then
It's a nice camera.
it's excellent.
It's a little big because I broke our M50.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a better travel camera. Jay Lynn, how's it going?
It's going very well.
It's going kind of bright. The sun should be dropping back behind a tree here in a moment. We just moved to this pretty spot yesterday. And
We have a little story. And it's not
I guess the reason I want to tell this story is just because it's
interesting.
and
And it illustrates summer.
where we're at and where campers are at. Do you want to say it?
I can, because I had the first interaction.
Yeah.
There were a couple people. We're in like, it's a pretty decent sized spot where we are, and we're pretty far from town.
It's kind of a large spot for one person. There's
Right.
one fire ring.
Oh,
Diane.
Okay, we'll read this one and then for the story, then we'll stop reading donations for just a second, then we'll get right back into them.
Well,
Okay.
maybe we should get to the Diane's question
That's
after
what I'm
the story.
saying.
Okay.
Well, let's do that.
Okay, whatever.
The car video is soon. I recorded the voiceover and edited it, but there was a weed whacker going in the background or like a chainsaw or something. So I don't know if we'll see if Elsa thinks I have to redo it again.
What I want,
But we'll talk about that next.
I switched to Final Cut Pro so that Baron could start editing videos. I've edited my last 3 videos in Final Cut Pro. So I want you to edit the car video.
I did edit the voice part, but I want you to like see it and see if it's up to your standards.
Okay.
Because it very well might not be.
Okay.
Given that I normally don't live up to your standards.
What?
But the car video will be soon, and we can remind us, and we'll dive back into talking about that here quickly.
Bradley, next podcast is being filmed this week. So that should be out this week or next.
What, and maybe, and then we'll get back into our story. But podcast topics, remind us, and we'll talk about that too, if you guys have any suggestions.
And Lee, thank you so much. #1 fan.
Okay, story time?
Yes.
So a couple cars came down into our spot, which is a pretty big spot for just us. It's kind of a big open area where somebody else, maybe a couple tents or whatever, could camp pretty comfortably, and we wouldn't be in each other's way.
Awesome, Cindy.
A dash at the door dash.
I hope you have
You're probably
a successful night.
Yeah, you're probably busy right now. But they came down, 2 cars full of people. There were like 6 of them at the time.
I think 5.
5 people and a dog.
2 cars.
And they said, "Do you mind if we camp here?" And I was like, "You can do whatever you want. Like, I don't own this forest, and I'm not about to like tell people to no, you know? Like, I need to be more affirmative in my."
Well, you can always make friends with people.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. But then she says, "Oh yeah, it's going to be us, 5 adults, and our 4 teenage boys." So then,
and 4 dogs.
well, she hadn't yet said the dogs.
Right.
So then you came back in, we talked, and went back outside, and we were both asking, "So how long are you guys planning on camping here?" And they said, "Oh, until Sunday." So that's 4 nights. And then she said, "Yeah, and we'll have 4 dogs here, because our dogs need to be by the creek, which is, there's just a little tiny creek access right here." And my heart was racing. I hate confrontation. Also, I don't want
But it
to
was by
say
no
no
means
either.
confrontational.
No. But it was just like, "Hey, you guys, this spot is really small for that many people," and
Even if they were by themselves,
I mean,
that many people here would be a lot.
having more cars and even a tent of another couple over here that we're together. We're
Yeah.
camping together at that point. So it was just a very weird thing that I always have to check myself in the summer, because people often camp very close to each other because we're all trying to get out here and enjoy nature in the summertime. And I get so used to having our zone. It's like our front yard for 2 weeks kind of thing.
Which, like, yeah, like you said, we have to check ourselves. But I don't know. That's just, and that's total. I said, okay, like, if you guys are gonna camp here with that much going on, then we'll just move.
And she said, "Oh, no, you won't move. And you said, "Well, if this spot is perfect for you guys,
Yeah,
then we'll
like,
just move." And
I don't
she
want
said,
you guys to have to go find something else.
She said, "No, it's perfect for you. You were already here." And
So
we were
then
like, "Yeah."
we're like, okay. So then they got out their map and we showed them some of our favorite camping sites
that are
around
by
here.
creeks. So I think
that
we set them up
That
for
are
success.
really, they're even better than this site.
Yes,
So-
because we just found out this morning that this is a very popular site for a horse trail in the area.
Yeah.
So that we're going to be
So it's-
seeing. We won't probably stay here for very long.
Yeah, because
But-
Camp thinks he can fight horses. So if he comes across horses on trails, he'll just like square up to them and make himself look big and not move.
He does that to bikes too. He
Yeah.
thinks he's a tough boy.
He's
So
not a tough boy.
let's get into a couple of these. Julia, love you both. Continue to be happy and healthy. All love from Alabama. Thank you, Julia. And Danielle's Ika, you both are an inspiration. Hope you're doing well. Kim, thank you. Sanny, thank you. You're amazing too. Thank you very much. Nick's Picks. I just turned 51 and want to scamp and then become a girl on the fly. We love watching you guys. Thanks, Nick's. Nick's Picks.
Miss Mary Lou's here. But the
Hey,
Miss Mary
girl!
Lou, thank you for being here.
Did you know it's Miss Mary Lou's full-time job to sing on Twitch? If any of you
I
have
didn't know that.
not ever heard her on Twitch, it's so cool.
She's inspiring. I would like to get on, like, start streaming on Twitch, just being alive or video games or whatever.
I think it's a better system than YouTube's stream, but
But then we have to, like, transfer the audience. It's just kind of hard.
Miss Mary Lou will do song requests and she sings. Oh, you have like an old-fashioned voice that carries so well. It's so beautiful. Check out Miss Mary Lou's Twitch channel if you
Old-fashioned in a
haven't.
very positive way. Like,
Oh, amazing, amazing. And she loops, it's amazing. Check it out.
but the moral of that story was that, like, we don't own the forest, but
No.
at the same time, it's like we try to be very respectful of people. Like, if we see somebody camping, we won't even drive near their campsite, really. And
Because we know how it feels when people drive directly into our site. So it's just a different, I think they
Yeah.
experience it differently.
totally.
But then in the summer, after we have all winter to ourselves, nobody wants to camp in the winter, then summer happens and we have to remember how
Busy
summer
it
works.
gets.
Yeah, it's so busy, and rightfully so. It's beautiful in the summertime.
But those people were very nice. It was kind of a lot, but it was all good.
Fascinating, though. I think that they were coming from out of state, and they didn't seem like they camped very often. So having a giant group of people and a bunch of dogs in this tiny little spot, I don't know. Maybe they just didn't know how to look for other sites. It was kind of a weird. It was weird to have to go over there and say, "What? Do you?"
Like, for both of us, it's kind of crazy, but it's okay.
Yeah, interesting.
But as soon as we offered to move, they were like, "Oh, no." So,
And it wouldn't
whatever.
have been a big deal moving. It just
No.
takes like an hour to pack up.
So that's all. Just a little story from today.
Irish. You folks are
Aw.
awesome. Big love to you three. Irish Mythin. I've never known how to actually say that, but she also has a beautiful, beautiful voice.
What's the in the old triangle?
When jingle jangle. That's
she
our
does. She
favorite
covers
song.
that song, and we just
We might get monetized or
no.
demonetized for
God, that's not even close enough to.
jingle. She's
but
awesome.
That cover of the old triangle, or
Yeah. Ald triangle.
Something.
AULD triangle.
it's like an old Irish something, but
It's
it's
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Thank you. Dan, how do you get such good internet in the wilderness? That's a really good question. I was going to say it on Instagram today that we haven't been live streaming a lot lately because with what?
Somebody asked our worst camping neighbors, and I can think of who that was.
Okay, we'll get back
Well,
to that.
there were two stories, but
Okay.
we'll get back to it.
We're in a very different area than we've been in ever, so it happens to have good service, but we have to, the closer you are to town, generally the better the service is. We've got our Wii Boost here that boosts our signal, and that is very helpful, but generally in the summer when there's a lot of people in the woods, bandwidth is all taken up, so it is just a kind of a pain. It's a
Especially on
challenge.
weekends.
Yes, our internet turns pretty.
Which is totally fine if we're like prepared for it, but we need internet for work, so
Yeah.
it's kind of hard.
But then if we don't have service in a spot, we are dedicated in going maybe in the next spot or spot after to a site that has better internet.
Like when we don't have internet, then we generally will write a lot and make videos, and then in our next spot we like push all that content to the internet.
Yeah. Cass, thank you so much. Happy belated anniversary.
Oh, thank you.
We just had our 9-year anniversary on July 4th.
Yay. We did it.
Kind of. My sister really has been planning us a wedding for our 10-year anniversary, but my brother is getting married this year, And COVID got in the way, so he's going to also get married. Well, his real wedding's going to be next year. So we might get married on year 20 instead. Miss Mary Lou, thank you for being here again. Leah, you've inspired me to get a camper and do more camping with my partner. Buy some treats for the doggo. You guys are my new favorite thing to watch. Girl, thank you. Camp says thank you too. Is he inside?
Yeah.
We'll grab him in a minute. Thank you so much. And last one for a sec. Hitchhiking multi-poo. Cute. Just paying it forward. Thank you. We will also pay it forward. Thank you very much. What were the questions that you had
Someone
said?
asked.
Oh, worst neighbors.
Yes.
I
Who
can't
was
think.
it? Because they donated to. It was. Oh, here.
Oh, the next
Diane.
one's Diane. Thank you. Who were your worst camping neighbors?
So the first one, should we say his name or not?
I don't know who you're talking
I
about.
doubt he'll see this. It was in Colorado. We were just talking about it.
Who?
Ferris.
Oh, I think.
I don't
mean,
don't
you don't
think
have to say his name. but-
Okay, but there's this older gentleman that was, I don't know. He was a wild dude.
Full-time guy living, like
Yeah.
full-time nomad. We meet a lot of older men who do this.
He was one of those guys that'll tell you stories, and it's like, I don't even know if 10% of what he said was truth, but they were fascinating fabrications at least. But he really liked us and thought we were great and liked hanging out with us. So he moved spots to be closer to us, like uncomfortably close camping to us. Not to where, like, he was completely non-threatening and whatever, but just like, dude, have your space and we'll have ours kind of thing. But when after, like the day after he moved, a bunch of friends came up and camped with us.
We told him too.
Yeah,
that
we told
this is
him
what's
that
gonna
a bunch of
happen.
people are coming. They're going to camp with us. They're not going to be quiet. It might be a lot for you. So, so all of our friends show up, and we don't even know some of them. Like, they were friends of friends.
Yeah, it was not really our group that was
Right.
coming. It was our good friends.
Friends. And they were drinking a lot, which, like, our tight friends normally don't drink a ton, and I don't know, it was just kind of whatever, but it was loud.
Yeah, and he was right by us.
Right.
And it was pretty late, by 10 o'clock, which is reasonable. Homeboy, what do we call him? Mike?
No, we'll call him the man,
The gentleman.
the gentleman.
The gentleman started screaming from his tent and, you guys, shut up over there, I'm trying to sleep. Just screaming. It was pretty awkward. He did it multiple times, and we were trying to be quiet. It was really uncomfortable for all of us because it was...
And it was one of those things where he was like screaming and being kind of like obnoxious and like kind of abrasive. So it was like,
Yes.
okay, dude, like
Yeah.
if you're gonna like be mean to us, I'm trying to not.
He didn't
use
gently
bad
come over
language.
and say, you guys can you keep it down? I'm trying to sleep. He was yelling at us because he was very,
Yeah.
very upset.
Which is like, I get it, but he was very much warned, and he came to camp right next to us.
So then, we didn't know who these other people were who were driving in. A group of people, probably 3 or 4 cars. They had very big trucks.
With like light bars and everything.
They
And we don't know
came-
these people.
And where the gentleman was camped, his tent was camped, was at the very end of the road. There's no turnaround point. When you drive in, you have to kind of scoot your way out, but all these trucks had nowhere to go, so they're all blasting directly at his tent, straight on their light bars, and the gentleman,
Lost his mind.
it was
Just went off.
it was like a movie. It was so sad and hilarious at the same time.
Yeah.
It was he didn't know that those people were not with us, and then eventually they backed out and
So
figured it out.
he
and-
thought that we were just kind of jacking with him,
Yeah.
but that was not at all what was happening, and it was too much.
I hope that explains it.
It
well
was like a
enough,
movie
but-
though, because we were trying to keep it down. Like we had just made everybody like be quiet and everything, and like bring the volume down and chill out and kind of sit around the campfire. And then as soon as we like mellowed out, these big trucks with light bars come in and are just like blasting the whole area. And
It was really too bad. He moved the next day, and so did our friends' friends.
yeah, it was.
So then it was only us the next day.
Yeah.
So that was fine.
But that was a funny story. And our other one was Sergeant Stacy.
Oh gosh.
That was, we've told that story before on another live stream, but she was not a nice human.
She had her name was not Stacy, but we called her Sergeant Stacy. I wonder what live stream that was.
I don't know.
It was fascinating. She was a gun-toting woman who was also very abrasive
and very yelly and authoritarian-esque.
And neither of us did anything but say hello to her. I
and
saw
she
her
like
in town.
pulled her gun out when I walked up to ask her if we should move. We're like, all right,
I think I saw her in town and we had the weirdest interaction, and it seemed she probably was, I don't know, traveling for. She definitely experienced some trauma, and she was working through stuff, but that was strange.
Yeah.
Chris, hi from England. You're amazing. Thank you, Chris. Diane, that was a really good question. That was a fun question. Kayla, let's camp, let's fish. Colorado loves you. Let's be best friends.
Somebody just asked
let's be friends.
also if we were going to meet
Colorado's
back up
awesome.
with Brian from Colorado Backcountry Adventures. Or Backcountry Off-Grid Adventures, I think now.
I don't know, he changed his name.
And we would I would love to go Tenkara fishing with him next time we're in Colorado, but we just got to get back out there.
Yeah, we miss Colorado.
We do.
Sunny, thank you for your sweetness and etiquette. This summer is exceptional as well. It is a beautiful summer. We've been in Oregon, and it's beautiful. I think anywhere that is higher altitude with ponderosa pines, and I prefer aspens. If we're high enough for aspens, then it's my favorite.
Yeah.
We love high altitude. It's dry and cooler. Chris Slack, hey, you guys are the first people to actually inspire me to eat healthier. Potatoes, veggies, cacao, mushrooms in my cacao. Thanks again. Awesome.
That's really awesome to hear.
Yes.
Because we do our best, and I've never really liked people pushing health on me, but it's been really nice for our own journey to become healthier, and it just feels really good.
In the last video, there were some people who were a little bit concerned about giving health advice as non-doctors, and our strategy is never really to tell other people what to do, but I was hoping that it would come across that I was just giving my experience and the vitamins that I take.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of resources to share, and I'm working on a blog post for all that for anybody who just wants to learn more. I just started a really awesome new book about like ancestral human diets. I'll have to figure out what that is and share that. Dorcas Powell, your choice of music is always spot on. Don't forget about trace minerals. Baron's skillet potatoes recipe is amazing.
That's about all I got. I'm pretty inventive. Like, I can make something out of nothing.
Yes, you can. You've always been able to do that.
I think that goes back to my, there were some days in my life.
What?
I'll just leave it at that. Anyway, Julie says thank you. Thank you,
Julie, thank you. And Miss Mary Lou, thank you again for being here. We appreciate you so much when you are our moderator.
So helpful.
And we should we'll answer questions too that are not super chats. I'm just trying to cover those because we're so appreciative of everybody who does do the super chats. Thank you all so much. Leanne binge watched years worth of your videos. I absolutely love what you do. Much love from somewhere in Alaska.
Ketchikan?
That's awesome.
Man,
Lindsay,
we need to get to Alaska.
I know. So funny. In our couple live streams ago, we were talking
Try
about.
not to say what the whole pandemic is called.
Oh, okay.
For the YouTube stuff.
Is it still being sensitive?
You just would rather.
Okay, we just won't say the name of. We all know what's happening.
Yeah.
But we were saying in a couple live streams ago that our plan, unless something crazy happened, our plan this summer was to go to Alaska.
And then
And
2020 manifested itself, and here we are.
So that's fascinating. Do you have any ideas for land yet? What are our land thoughts?
So ideally, we would like to find something that's heavily treed so that we can use the trees for building, and just trees are, it's easy to cut a tree down if you need to, but it's far harder to grow a big, nice tree. It takes a long time. So it'd be great to have a lot of trees. Any sort of water source or even a well would be excellent. We'd like to be relatively south-facing because we'd like to grow the majority of our own food. Decent elevation. We're open to having a greenhouse, so it doesn't have to be perfect soil or growing conditions. But I don't know. More like, it depends, because if it were 2 acres out in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by forest land, then that's like the same as having 20 acres right outside of town. So I don't know. It's hard to say.
Hard to say.
But we're really open, and yeah, we are like passively looking around, but we just know that whenever like something will come into our consciousness, for lack of a better word, at some point, and we're just keeping our eyes open.
Yeah, being very flexible and open to it whenever it comes around.
But it's not something that we're forcing, because like we really enjoy what we're doing now, and everything's working, so
yeah,
it's all good.
Enjoy exploring. Kunga Sonam, thank you so much. Caroline, thank you. I'm 19 and trying to figure out what I want to do. I knew I wanted to travel but didn't know how I would. Then I discovered you guys, and once I'm done at college, I'll be traveling in a scamp. Best advice? Wow, way to go, girl.
Best advice, I think, honestly, I see a lot of people travel very quickly from place to place. Like they pop around. Hey Brenda, Terry wants a beer, so please bring
What'd
Terry
she
a
say?
beer. Terry said he wanted a beer.
Oh.
Bring him and a little backhand. Give him a soft backhand too. But the advice that I think is kind of weird, that I don't hear often, is travel slowly. So don't try to see all the things as quickly as possible. I find a lot more enjoyment, and it's a lot cheaper to go to one place, kind of figure it out, and hang there for a while, and kind of circle around that one area, and then move around in a similar area, rather than like going state to state and trying to see and do all the things, because that gets really expensive. So if you move slower, you can extend your journey.
That's very good advice.
Thank you.
I would say also try to be as boondock friendly as possible. Limiting the amount that you'd have to stay at campgrounds, I think it's very helpful. Like not having to be connected to power or to water will set you up, I think, for success.
Yeah. I don't know what, it's just fascinating to me that people camp without boondocking. Like without, like, having to be plugged into electric and water.
It's just the
and
way that a
sewer.
lot of RVs are set up, though.
Yeah, but it's just, I just think that would be so hard
also
and expensive.
I think older people, that is
Totally.
the only way that they can
Totally.
really realistically do it.
I'm not knocking it at all. I just really appreciate the freedom that we have in having simpler systems.
Yeah. Everything is modular.
Yeah.
So we can fill up our water without taking the whole camper in. Solar is obviously a big luxury.
Boondocking is camping without any hookups. So if you go to a campground, they'll have like a plug for power and water, and like to pull your black water and gray water out. So those are hookups. So if you're boondocking, you just are out in the middle of nowhere, and all you have is what you have on you or with you. So we boondock 100% of the time. So somebody asked.
Sorry about this lighting. It's like
It's not great, but
I either can't see or you can't see us. I hope that it is fine.
Whatever.
It's just so dark in the scamp. We have never done an outside of the scamp live stream. We just have such great internet today that we thought this would be fun. Diane, thanks again. She wants to know how the mushroom picking has been since our last video.
We haven't really found, well, we found a number of mushrooms, but we have so many dried out that we
don't
aren't
need
looking
anymore.
for more.
I think, so Freshcap Mushrooms, they are the mushrooms they're the fruiting body. That's out of context, I guess. The mushrooms that they sell, they're out of Canada. We really love them. They sell the fruiting body of the mushroom, whereas
That's powdered.
Host Defense sells the myceliated grain.
And there's still discussion as to what's better, and I think you could argue it either way. If you'd like us to argue whether fruiting bodies or myceliated grain is better,
I think it's just cool to have
know.
both.
Yeah.
But anyway,
it's situational.
Freshcap Mushrooms, they have a great channel, they have a great website, and great everything. They have a lot of information on finding mushrooms, and they just posted a video about oyster mushrooms, and I believe those are happening right now. It might be on a different area of Oregon, like the more wet climates of Oregon should be popping.
And I would love to find chanterelles. We've eaten and found a couple chanterelles and lobster mushrooms, but they're more wet climate, and we like more arid climates, generally speaking. So we found a bunch of king boletes and butter boletes, and they're like the cutest mushrooms in the world.
Oh, they are.
Go for it.
Nothing.
What?
New stickers.
Oh, okay.
But that'll be a later discussion. Andrea, love your adventures. The Baron shower video had me laughing out loud. That's great. I was editing that, and at that moment, and truly was thinking
whatever.
Truly, at that moment, I said, I've got to add something in here because you are an attractive man.
Thank you.
Jan, y'all be cool. Thank you.
We will do our best.
I am so buff.
Do you guys smoke reefer or do shrooms? Those are both interesting topics that we would love to talk about, but we've struggled to find the words.
It is legal here in Oregon. I have been really into CBD lately. CBD is a very helpful thing for, if I'm having trouble going to sleep, I like to take a tincture of CBD before bed. It's so helpful. It's really good for inflammation too. Going on long drives with camp, we might put a couple drops of CBD in his food, and it really helps calm him. Though he doesn't really freak out unless we're going on a multi-day drive. Alexandria, thanks for all your good advice, my beautiful elven people. Thank you. And my mom and dad are here. I bet your mom and dad are too, but they don't.
Somebody asked what video games I've been playing. Tropico is one of my favorite games of all time. You're an island dictator, and it's kind of like SimCity, but in a tropical island, and I really like that game because it has like a lot of different political things and societal balances that you have to manage. It's fascinating. That and Don't Starve Together because Don't Starve Together is fun because I can play it online with friends in the woods, and I don't need like great ping, and it's hard to get good ping out here. So like this message response to and from the server doesn't need to be like super fast for that game. And it doesn't tank my battery as fast as other games because it's older.
That's the most realistic game too.
That's where I found out that honey doesn't spoil quickly.
Is in the game?
Yeah. And so that's kind of funny.
Whenever I see big cow poop, I think of beefalo poop.
But if you want to play Don't Starve Together, get on our Discord server and join the gaming channel, and we can play together, and it's pretty fun.
Starseed, you guys are amazing as mates and ever wonderful human beings. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a really sweet thing to say. Somebody asked if we ever run into wild animals. And that's our next podcast, I think, is what we're gonna.
Yeah, is how we deal with wildlife out here. Somebody on Instagram, I forget her name, she offered that as a podcast suggestion, which would be a good topic. If any of you have ideas for podcasts, things that you want to hear us talk long form about, we would love to get your feedback.
Miss Mary Lou, you are the best.
She really is.
If you scroll up a little bit, if you want to join our Discord, and it's like a bunch of different conversations on all different topics, and there's even voice chat if you want to join that. She just linked the join code for that, so yeah, pop in there if you'd like. Thank you, Miss Mary Lou. You're the best.
Sarah, how do you find your boondocking spots? I would love to do that in South Dakota and Montana.
I think
Is
so.
there a website? There's a lot of websites.
Yeah.
A lot of people use Campendium. We don't use that one. I don't know why. We use freecampsites.net. It's not going to have every spot. None of these sites are going to have every spot because forest land is very vast. But it's a really helpful entry point to get you into an area, and then you can explore from there. That's usually how we do it, is we park in one spot for a period of time, and then we drive around and just in the Subaru and look for spots that we would like to camp.
I've been using Gaia. I just subscribed to that recently.
Is that a trail, like a hiking trail app too?
Yeah, and hunting. It's just a mapping app.
Okay.
It's sort of like that one that you just. Avenza is another one.
Avenza. Oh, that's
the
so
one
cool.
Randy showed us.
And you can download the paper forest maps that you would get at the National Forest Station. You can download the maps on your device, so then they're digital.
And then it tracks you on the digital map too,
Yeah.
which is super helpful.
Yeah, it was really cool. Avenza, Avenza.
And then the one I've been using is Gaia, Gaia, and it's like $9 a year or something. But I've been using that because it shows, like it has an older hand-drawn map for most areas, and it has a really, like low storage space
Oh, that's
map,
nice.
so that you can download big areas and it doesn't take up a bunch of space on your phone. And then it has a like topo map. So if I'm looking for, let's say during the summer, areas that, Onyx Hunt is another great one. But if I'm looking for areas that are next to water, then I can get on that. And then even if my service drops, I have all the maps saved to my phone, and it still uses GPS to track me. So that's been super helpful. That's how I found this spot.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Charles, aloha from Hawaii.
I would love to go to Hawaii.
I know. My sister is trying to get us to go, but I don't think that I would go right now.
I don't think it'd take much to get us to go to Hawaii.
No. I think it would take a lot to get us to come back.
Yeah, we would just stay.
D. Jones, enjoy your channel. I've had my fair share of outdoor adventures, but as I get older, it's harder. I prefer primitive camping. It's the best.
Agreed.
Yeah, we agree. Thank you.
Any natural tips for ADHD? That's a great question. I think meditation is huge, and journaling is huge. And I think what helped me, because I'm not going to get into all the things that I think about that, but I've struggled with focusing on things and in schoolwork and that kind of thing my whole life. And a lot of it, I think, is a motivation issue for me. Like if I don't have a good why for why I'm doing something, then it's harder for me to do. So journaling about like what I'm doing the thing for and where I'm going with it and why I feel so distracted and what it is that I would rather focus on, and kind of journaling too about what my motivations are and what things I do want to do, then it's easier to sort of pursue those things and not be distracted from them because I'm excited to do them. And also following your inspiration. So whatever you're excited about, do that. So that's my tips.
Leah, each of my 3 cats donates $5 and my bird is cheap, so he donates $4.99. Oh, I would love to have a bird.
What kind of bird would you have if you had a bird?
I don't know anything about birds.
I would have a penguin.
I would like to have a bird that is nice and would sit on my finger and my shoulder.
I would have a penguin.
A parrot, a talking bird, but something that wouldn't bite friends if they came over.
African gray parrots are super genius.
Parakeets, I think, are really sweet. Maybe they're not. I think they look like they would be. Okay. Beverly, my friend wants to invite you to come stay on his property to do the things you want to do. That would be radical.
Mm-hmm. That sounds really nice.
Lex, thank you. And Julian, thank you. I just wanted to say hello and hope you guys are having a great time. We totally are. Everybody who is here, thank you. Bridget, keep it up. Thanks, girl. Have you ever run into wild animals like bears, coyotes, etc.? I guess we started talking about that quick, and then
yeah,
we've seen a couple bears right by the scamp before. Maybe we should save it
Black
for the
bears.
podcast.
Yeah, black bears are like giant. They act like a possum, like an opossum acts. If you ever encountered one, where they're kind of like, once they see you, they're like, oh, and they scamper out of there, but they're kind of curious, and I don't know. But that's one of our podcasts coming up is going to be about animal encounters and how we deal with wild animals when we do.
D. Duckle's Art by D. Truman. Love from the UK. 2 a.m. and first live chat. Awesome. You inspire me. Sweet. I hope you don't stay up too much longer.
Well, you can stay up as long as you want.
Yeah. Thank you for being here. Demafly, hello. Have you had any recommendations for natural anxiety relief? CBD, like we mentioned earlier, and really everything that you said. Meditation, journaling are
cold exposure is a big one for me. If I'm in a funk, when we lived in a house, cold showers were a big thing for me to kind of zap my mind into the present. Highly recommend that. And the quick tip for cold exposure, when you're in a cold shower, just turn it all the way to cold. And what I like to do is just try to breathe calm and not tense up and just kind of relax into the water. And yeah, I think that does really good things for my mental.
It's not easy.
No, it's not.
And you guys are great. Thanks for sharing your journey. Thank you for being here.
Should we talk about summer camping tips since that's the title?
Oh, we haven't done that yet.
Now that we're 45 minutes in.
And I remember I first started and I was like, I'm going to go out of order. So then we never got back on order.
So we'll read this one and then pause there on donations maybe.
Yes. Reagan, thanks for inspiring my partner and I to live our best life. Hopefully picking up our own scamp casita one day. Awesome, I hope so. They're the best.
Yeah. They're awesome trailers. People ask, and it's hard for me to not suggest exactly what we have, but I think as far as I'm concerned, they're awesome.
Yes.
Just super lightweight and simple and
so many options
easy
to tow with. And we were just talking about what would we get if we could do any other rig. And there's nothing that I'm really wanting. What I would do is upgrade what we have.
Yeah.
I'd add a little table where the bench is. I would completely redo the countertop, everything.
And then for the car, just build it out better and with more bomb-proof parts. And
yeah. For some reason, even in the winter when we're kind of stuck inside, I don't want for anything. I don't know how.
I was just journaling about that.
What were you saying?
How we have everything that we want. Like we were asking, because we're from Kansas City originally, and Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback for Kansas City, got a contract for $500 million, which is obscene.
For 12 seasons, right?
10 years. But we were talking about what we would do with that much money. And right now, I don't really want anything. Like the only thing that would be cool to have just for peace of mind is land, so that we would have a place to crash and store things and sort of build on self-reliance. But I don't want really anything else. That being said, we do have some toys that we've been considering.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have everything that we need to be happy, and I prefer having less because it's so comfortable, and it's so much less like complexity on my mind. So, yeah.
Yeah, my mind just goes to if we had that amount of money, I would pick exactly what we wanted land-wise, and then after that, give money to our families. I can't even it's a hard question to ask, because who actually, other than a Super Bowl winning football player, will ever see that amount of money in their lives? I mean,
don't know.
I think
there's a number of people.
Yeah.
Very
High.
or small percentage of people, but
Yeah.
But yeah, every time that we get new things, it's like, okay, now we have to like figure out how to store this and what to do with it.
It's been really helpful living in a tiny scamp, because we can't buy things. We just don't have any space for it. We're right now trying to figure out bike or stand-up paddleboard or
Oru
kayak. We don't have space for much. So which one are we going to do? We could rearrange stuff so that we could store one of them under the bed.
Yeah.
What should it be?
I don't know. But that's a topic that we'll talk about here in a second.
Mm-hmm.
After we need to talk about the winter or the summer camping tips, since that's what the video's called or the live stream's called. I feel like people.
Well, the plan was to talk about that at the very beginning, but thankfully, all of you have stuck around for this long. Thanks so much for so many of you who are here right now.
Yeah, it's amazing. Kokopelli rafts. That's another great option. It's an inflatable raft that you can take over like rapids and stuff. It's a pack raft. We
need to put some sort of a rooftop carrier on the scamp.
I think on the car would be better to start.
And then if we could pop it when we're not driving, when we're parked, if we could fasten it to the top, because as we're driving to and from town, that's going to knock our gas mileage a little bit.
Yeah. It will, just a little bit, but
And over time, if we stay in a spot for 14 days and we're driving however many...
And we off-road so much that I think like a big Thule box or whatever would kind of get rattled around.
Yes.
Okay, let's catch up on donations and then talk about summer camping tips. Yeah.
If you could camp anywhere outside of North America, where would you go first? From Diane.
New Zealand.
Oh, that's a good one.
Or New Caledonia
if you could
for
camp.
the lizards. Or Australia.
I would go somewhere like Iceland or Norway. Somewhere up north in the summertime would be super cool. Alaska. That's North America though. WeRemodel.com. Here as always, thank you. Thank you for bringing us into your camp. Thank you for being here in our camp. Wish I could give you a little better. There's water down here. Probably can't see
creek.
it.
Maybe we can go on a tour after we talk about tips. I'm not just stuck on that, but I just would hate for people to like watch the video and be like, they didn't even talk about that.
Pearl the cat. What's your advice for someone who wants to live in a teardrop but still works the 9 to 5 in Colorado? At least you're in Colorado. Colorado's got some cool people.
Just maybe network to find a good spot of land to camp on, because that'll make all the difference. Because it'll be hard if you're commuting 9 to 5. It's different if you're working on like online 9 to 5. That's, I think, a lot easier. But if you're commuting, then I think it would be way easier if you could find someone who has land for you to park on.
Also try really hard to eliminate expenses now while you can.
Yeah.
Eliminate anything that is frivolous, like going out to eat.
Yeah.
Things like that. Save whatever you can and get used to not having those common types of expenditures like Netflix. I don't know. I love Netflix.
And clothes.
Yes.
Cheap clothes.
There are so many comments that I just can't get through them all. There's so many of you here. This is unbelievable. Idea for small mobile garden from Megan. 5 to 15 gallon fabric containers have handles and are simple to relocate. And kiddie pool to place them inside of when moving. That's a great idea.
Maybe when we have land. What would we do with a kiddie pool?
Well, I think we will, if we had a bigger rig.
Yeah.
For gardening on the road, we're just we never know if we're going to have sunny spots or shady spots. I think it is a little bit too complex. And we also don't know the climate and terrain that we're going to be in. If it's going to be really wet or really dry, or in the winter we just can't. So everything would freeze. So that's a great idea, though. Good, smart. Okay, last one, then
Okay.
summer tips.
Okay.
Nina, thank you for all the content on the beautiful life you both live. You both inspire me to live life more intentionally, and you've introduced me to some new awesome music. That's cool. Thank you. Baron, you always list your Spotify playlists.
Yeah,
Your playlists are great.
I have a number of them on my Spotify. If you look up Baron Link, you should be able to find me. I listen to music to get into different mental modes. Like if I'm gonna chill or meditate or journal or write or slackline or go for a run. I have like all different playlists for different mental states. So Baron Link on Spotify if you want to check those out.
And again, thank you so much, Miss Mary Lou, for being here. Check her out on Twitch if you have not already. She's just the sweetest.
People keep asking to see camp.
Oh, I can go grab him. Miss Mary Lou, will you please post your links here? Let me know if they don't show up. I think links I have unblocked.
And I'm going to start talking about summer camping
Okay.
tips. Okay, summer camping tips. The number one thing that we look for in the summertime when we're looking for spots is proximity to water. So whether it's a creek or a river or a lake, anything like that, because when you're super hot, cooling down is really helpful. Another thing is elevation. So higher elevation, I think every 1,000 feet is like 3.5 degrees cooler, generally speaking. So if you can go up in elevation, that helps a lot. This is camp.
Here's the princess.
Look at the camera, dude.
Sit in the way. Here he is.
What's a good tip for camping that no one thinks about?
And thank you again, Diane.
Kind of an interesting one is how the sun tracks through the sky. So there's an app.
That's a great one.
There's an app called Lumos, Lumos, and it shows you, like in augmented reality, you can hold your phone up and pan it across the sky and it'll show you the arc that the sun will take. And that, whenever you get to a new campsite, that's super helpful to see which parts will have sun throughout the day, especially in the summer when it's going to be hot, because then you'll know how to park so that you're oriented in the shade, and if you have solar, where you should put your panels and stuff. So that's something that people don't think about when they're looking at campsites is how the sun will be.
He looks just so distraught. He wants to go chase all the chipmunks. I saw 3 chipmunks rolling around this morning, and then I saw 2 deer. I'd just gone in to get my binoculars and came outside, and these 2 beautiful deer were so close. It was awesome. There's a ton of birds in the area. Did you talk about the cooler method?
No, I had like 10 seconds.
Oh, sorry.
But the cooler method, we could do it.
I have a video on it that's really short and simple if you need more explanation, but a really, really, really great way to keep your cooler cold in the summer when you are in dry areas, it doesn't work so much in humid areas, is wet a rag, put it on top of your cooler, the whole like opening with the lid open, put the rag so there's no air, like cover the opening of the cooler, then either keep it open or the lid sits like open. Does that make sense? You'll have to check out the video. As long as there's a breeze, or if you set up a little fan on it, it acts like a swamp cooler. So the air flow drying out the wet rag is pulling energy from inside the cooler and keeps the whole thing cool. Not cold. I wouldn't do that if you had anything like cheese or anything you really needed to keep cold. Definitely not meat.
But it keeps it far cooler than it otherwise
It's
would.
so helpful because we try not to
Especially
buy ice.
for vegetables and stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome. If any of you.
So when the moisture evaporates out, the cold air from that evaporation drops down into the cooler. So it's significantly colder, especially if you leave it out overnight. Something else you can do is get a like mesh bag and tie it to like a tree or whatever next to the creek, and then leave like I don't know, some stuff like beer or whatever floating in the water. Something that we also do is get like kombucha or beer or just things that are cold to put in the cooler as ice, because we don't normally have ice. That being said, we just bought ice today for the first time in years.
Yeah.
So
We, I guess, just had some ice recently, and it was so
Yeah.
nice that we decided to get actual ice today.
I used it in my iced coffee today, and it was delicious.
What a luxury it is to have ice.
We've every summer we consider buying a ice maker, and I still think that would be incredible.
But then we'd only need it for 2 months, and then we have to
Right.
store an ice maker for the rest of the year.
The Cyto Point shot is working excellent for camp.
Yeah.
And we got the smallest dose that you can get this time, so his nose didn't dry out or anything, and it's lasted for months.
Chris, thank you. Camp, buy him something from us.
Okay.
Okay. I wonder
We'll get him
what.
some bacon. We'll share bacon
That's
with
for
him.
you, not for him.
Well, I mean,
He
everybody
would get
wins, right?
And Drew, hey guys, every time I see you guys, you make my day better. Do you guys have to worry about ticks in the States where you stay? That's a good question.
We've seen, what, 5 or 6 ticks this year, but none of them were latched on. When I was a kid, I never felt them. I got ticks like a gross amount at the lake, and I was always out in the woods. So I would have
Different
them.
climate.
Yeah, but now I generally feel them crawling on me before they hook in. So, but no, knock on wood, we haven't
I
really
think
had
it
a bunch.
has something to do with altitude, maybe.
Yeah.
And we are apparently in the northeast. That is a place where tick.
Well, and then you have Lyme disease too.
Yeah,
You have a wild tick story that you could tell.
I probably told it before.
It's interesting though, I
The
think.
alpha-gal allergy is a thing that people also have to worry about, and I got that after being bit by a bunch of ticks. It was a tick bomb, they called it. We were going out climbing in Missouri, and one of the ticks happened to be a Lone Star tick, and that's the tick that carries the alpha-gal, whatever it is, and it's an allergy that for some reason your body can't break down the protein. Is that
I think
right?
it's fat.
The
Red
fat
meat.
of red meat. Yeah, that's right. So my body rejected red meat for 2-3 years. It was wild. At its worst, I got hives and threw up after eating a burger, and it was wild. Terrible, terrible stomach aches that I don't know if they have to do with my stomach aches I have now. Some doctor I saw recently said that, oh, you'll have to deal with that forever, but we eat a good amount of steak, and
It may have been the protein. I don't know if it's fat or protein.
it can't break down the fat because
Yeah, I don't
venison
know
and
which it
chicken don't have the same amount of fat.
is. Okay.
They're leaner meats, so that might be why.
But if you have a red meat allergy and it gives you terrible stomach aches, that's something to think about.
Yeah, that was a bummer, but it's fascinating how it doesn't last for more than 5 years, I guess. Your body adapts or something. Honestly, I don't know much about it because when I got it, I happened to have only that day eaten red meat. So I looked up red meat allergy, and it came up with a tick thing. And then a month before, I had been bit by all those ticks, and then I looked into it a little bit more, but there wasn't so much information about it.
Now it's a pretty common thing though.
And that was probably 8 years ago, I think.
6 or 8.
We had met recently before that. So,
Do we have any other summer tips? I talked about camping close to water. We talked about the cooler.
having an awning is
Amazing.
game changer. We put it up today because we just moved here yesterday, and I don't know how we did it without it. Retro Renos installed it for us, and I don't know what we were doing without it.
Mm-hmm.
Shade in the summertime and protection from rain.
It's amazing. And it makes the scamp cooler because then it blocks a good bit of the sun that would be on the scamp.
It's amazing. I huge. If you can do an awning, even if you can fashion up, what we used to do is tent fly, rain fly. We would just, with ropes, you can see it in our wild weather video. It was wild weather in Washington from about this time last year. We take a rope and fashion it with these shower poles, and it worked as an awning. This one's definitely far easier to set up. What is it? What kind of awning is it?
ARB. It's an Australian company. I'm linking my Spotify profile if somebody was asking about it. Oh,
There she
Miss
is,
Mary
Miss Mary
Lou,
Lou.
beat me to it. Crazy. You are so awesome. Where do you keep the solar panels while you're traveling? We keep the big one under the bed and the little one like on top of the bed or wherever we can.
Mm-hmm. The little one kind of always changes. We used to keep it in the car, but then it fell and bonked and broke our water filter, so then we stopped doing that. Sharon Dunn, thank you for your amazing videos. Thank you so much. Karen, favorite meals to cook these days? That's a good question. Thank you.
Spring rolls.
Oh my gosh, the spring roll game has been upgraded. So, what?
You're just funny.
Well,
Upgraded.
I just got more stuff for it. So in town there's a local produce, organic farm, whatever shop, and I got these mustard wasabi sprouts. So good.
And the
And
nori.
then the nori seaweed sheets. So it's kind of like sushi spring rolls. Oh my goodness, so good. And it's so easy. That's a summer tip.
And they're
Spring
easy to
rolls.
clean up.
All you need is
Rice paper.
some hot water to boil the rice noodles for a minute. And if you don't want to do noodles, you don't even need that. Then you don't have to have boiled water even for the rice paper. But it's the most minimal cooking. You just gotta chop it up. But if you're gonna go camping, you chopped it before you went. Brought a bunch of pepper, carrot, cucumber. Avocado's really good in it. Ah, dang, I didn't get an avocado. Little baby shrimps was really good, but we don't do that because we can't ever keep them after. Like, we have to eat them all at once, and usually it's a lot of shrimp. Those baby shrimp.
We've done a video on those though. We should do a spring rolls video that's just about spring rolls.
I did. There is one. It was from when we were in Arizona.
Excellent. We did a video on spring rolls already, so you can check that out.
It was a fun video to edit.
Somebody has asked a bunch of times our favorite 3 products for tent camping.
Sleeping pad.
Yeah, a good sleeping pad makes all the difference. Mine's a slackline. If you're car camping, slacklines are the best.
Headlamps.
Headlamps, good call.
We use our BioLite headlamps, of course. BioLite has been very good to us, and we love their products.
Great points.
F Priest 64, thank you so much. That was a great question. Top 3 products for tent camping.
A slackline is like a piece of webbing, almost like tie-down straps for cars, like tension crank straps, but you put it between 2 trees and then walk on it. Ours is like 3 inches wide, and it's super good for training your stabilizer muscles, and it's a really fun activity.
I've seen a couple people ask about how we prevent bug spray stuff. A friend of mine made some bug spray with essential oils in it, and it was kind of so-so for the mosquitoes. But that's all we do, is we wear clothes, layer up, and that's just really the best. And then essential oils. I don't even know what essential oils work best, but clothes, long sleeves is the best for us. We are in Oregon.
We don't ever share exactly where we are because we don't want places that we love to get blown out with a lot of people. So we try to
Hummingbird. It's not that,
Oh, awesome.
it's not that we don't want to share our spots at all, but there's
We would
almost
love
a
to. But then it's generally around small towns. So then when a lot of people come to the small towns, then it's like really hard on, I don't know, people get really frustrated and it's just a hard thing to balance. So but a lot of YouTubers and stuff do share their spots, but that's why we don't, is to try to be respectful both of the land and the people who live around those areas.
and our own safety
Yeah,
too.
totally.
Nobody's ever been weird though. And truly our best friends that we have in the area that we are now are all people that we've met online.
Yeah, from YouTube.
What's up, Jake and Fran and Trevor and Sarah? Are you still doing archery?
Yes. We were going to talk about, so slacklining we talked about, and then archery those have been like my two favorite activities. Slackline for a long time, but having our bow, I have a blog post about our bow, and like the whole kit that we got. It was just under $200 for the whole kit, and it's been perfect just for kicking
So much
around and
fun.
learning, but it's super fun, and it's a takedown recurve bow. It's called a Samick Sage. But yeah, if you go to nomad.com, it's one of my recent blog posts.
It's a really good blog post. It shows you everything that you need to get started.
Yeah. But and I got one that was light enough draw weight so that Elsa could like learn and enjoy it, and it's been really fun to like do that together.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 30-pound draw weight, so it's super light, and you can shoot it like hundreds of times in a day and not get tired.
Smoochy McGoo asked, what camera mic setup are you using for this stream? If you have Instagram, I just showed, we have an awesome setup here right now. Check out my Instagram story to see it, but we've got a Boya microphone and we're streaming from the iPad, and we're charging everything right now on our Goal Zero battery using our Unlimitedville hotspot and our Goal Zero panels. It's pretty cool. Check out, and it's on top of the cooler. Miss Mary Lou asked if I have any more plans I saw it on here, but I can't find it on here, for jewelry. I have been making some more jewelry. Slowly but surely. So, no plans, but that has been happening. So it'll happen soon. Thanks for asking. Alberta, thank you so much.
Somebody asked if we use the mic for podcasting. We use a Shure MV88 for podcasting, and it's a little like tiny microphone that plugs into the lightning port of Apple devices, and I think the audio quality out of that is pretty excellent, and it's adjustable too.
You can see the mic right now.
Yeah,
That's it.
this is the shadow of the microphone.
It's got a little...
That's the Boya, but the Shure microphone is smaller and really useful.
Nathan, love your content. What's one guilty pleasure that neither of you have given up since moving into the scamp? Food or product?
That's a fun one.
That's a great question.
I have a number of them, probably.
Okay, you go first.
I have given up many video games, and I play far less than I ever have. But I still play some video games in the forest. And I think that's really fun to just like unwind and play something, especially being able to play online games powered by solar in the forest is just wild. And donuts.
I'm sure there's so much that I'm not thinking of, but some good beer is one that I have not given up. What? My craft supplies or something? But I've worked hard to make them small craft supplies. That's a good question. One guilty pleasure. I don't know. I would say we've got a ton of tech gear that...
Yeah, but pretty less tech gear than I've ever had.
True.
And it's not, I don't know. How much do you ride your mountain bike? Not enough. And we want Elsa, we want to find one for Elsa too so that we can ride together. Because honestly, I feel kind of sketched riding by myself when I don't have service and stuff. Cause,
if something happened, that would not be good.
Yeah, that would be no fun if I crashed hard. But, yeah, we've been looking for a mountain bike for Elsa, but we haven't found one yet.
Oh my gosh, they're so expensive. What
they don't have to be, though.
Why are they? Why are they?
I don't know. They've gotten more and more expensive, and now people say like, "Oh, if you want a decent bike, you got to pay $3,000," and that is just goofy. I wouldn't.
I could buy 2.5 bikes, or I could buy our car again.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
My bike was like $800 and $850,
that sounds reasonable.
and I bought it new a long time ago, and.
But if I compare it to.
But it's a hardtail.
Phones, computers, cameras, everything is more expensive than I suppose it used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
anyway.
we're looking for like a used hardtail bike for Elsa with disc brakes, and that's about all that it needs to have. A decent front fork. But
Alec, thank you very much. I like your glasses. That's what I'm saying to him. He didn't say that to me. And Beverly, do you have an email?
we do,
Yes.
believe it or not.
We do.
You know, if you want to send me an email, you can do it through my website.
And same. We both have contact me pages.
Yeah.
Somebody asked about drinking tea, and I would like to assume that they're talking to Miss Mary Lou. Miss Mary Lou is tea queen. If anybody likes tea, you can go to her channel. YouTube
And
channel.
she sells really good tea
Yes.
too that she's given us, and it's amazing.
It is amazing. I love Jacob's midday tea.
I need to go pee real quick.
Okay. And the citrus one too. Miss Mary Lou does it all.
You need anything?
I don't think so. Oh, this spot is really, really pretty.
We could do a tour of our campsite in a minute.
Baron said we could do a tour of our campsite in a minute. That's a good idea. Wow, I can't believe so many of you are here. This is insane. Someone just said something about Elon Musk, and I think I should probably get my reservation money back from Tesla for the Cybertruck, because I don't think we're gonna get a Cybertruck. It seems like a cool idea, but if it can't charge itself outside, it's not gonna work for us. I think we would have to try hard to find towns that can charge the Cybertruck. Also, Baron was mentioning that when we're camping in the cold, it self-regulates the temperature of the batteries within the car. So it would run low on the battery of the car as it's trying to, he said something like up to 5 to 10% overnight it can lose just by self-warming the batteries. And during the winter, we're always winter camping, so if we are losing battery just having the car sitting out, then that's not gonna work. Dang it.
You talking about Teslas?
It's a Cybertruck. Bums me out because that would be so cool. But it would also invite a lot of conversations. Like, we'd probably have to have a lot of conversations in town when we would stop. People would ask about it because I would if I saw one. And so maybe it's better to just have an old Subaru.
I want to keep our Subaru as long as we can, but a hybrid car would be really nice too.
Laura loves to craft. I love that. Really love watching your videos. Thank you, Laura. I wonder what you love to craft. Because I do too. Hey, Josie Lynn. I started incorporating Firefly cacao into my morning ritual, but I'm having a hard time with the flavor. I know it's not exactly meant to be flavorful, but is there anything you would recommend to add? That is a great question. What cacao is it's just unprocessed chocolate. So this is like chocolate. I mean, it's processed like any other chocolate, but I mean unprocessed in that doesn't have any additions like sugar or dairy. So you're getting just the cacao. So what we like to do, and what a lot of people do, is act as though you're making hot chocolate. Add some of your favorite plant milk or milk. Some maple syrup, I think, is a really delicious sweetener over honey. I don't like to use honey because it has a tang that...
Yeah, honey's okay, but I think maple syrup matches the flavor better.
Maple syrup has more of just the sweet flavor. And then we like to add a bunch of medicinal stuff to ours, adding cinnamon, cacao, or cayenne pepper is a traditional thing. used with cacao because it opens up your capillaries so the nutritional properties within the cacao can get into your bloodstream faster. And then some salt. And that's really all you need. So like make hot chocolate with it essentially.
If you froth it and then put a sprinkle of sugar or salt, like you said, on top, I think that really mellows out the bitterness.
Salt enhances the chocolate flavor too,
Yeah.
I think. But it's just chocolate without dairy and sweetener.
And coconut oil is my favorite thing to put in it. If you want to not have, like, if you want to not have a sugar sweetener, coconut oil does a little bit for it.
Oh, Dandy Blend. That's
Yeah.
one without sugar. That is, oh, it's so good. It's like a coffee substitute. It's roasted dandelion root and chicory root. Organic, I think non-GMO and everything. It's really good stuff. But that has a natural sweetness that if you're not trying to add any type of sugar.
Aaron Ledbetter, who is one of the moderators
Hey!
in our Discord server, and we just hung out with him recently. He's awesome. But he said the RAV4 hybrid, and yeah, the RAV4 hybrid, the new one, is pretty sick. And it's like better than the TRD Pro of the
TRD Pro.
With a WADA, with a Wayne. But yeah, the RAV4 hybrid is really cool, but I'd have to wait like a good 4 years for it to come down in price a little bit for used ones, but they're really cool.
Highlander hybrid.
Yeah, but and Toyota's had the hybrid technology dialed in for a while. Somebody's asking about this. This is a it's made by Wazoo Survival, and it's a sharpening stone for, it's like a whetstone for sharpening knives, and it's got a little groove for sharpening fishing hooks and stuff. I've never worn a necklace, but I think this one's kind of cool, so I like it.
They have a cool fire starter one
Yeah.
necklace too that I wanted to get, but I wouldn't use it
Yeah.
because I have a lighter. But it is cool. You should check it out. Someone keeps asking about covering our wood stove. We take the wood stove down in the summer and have
But
it stored.
we cover the hole with a 3-inch
Oh.
PVC
I see.
pipe end, and
Yeah.
it works great
Fits.
because the pipe itself is 3 inches, so just the little PVC cap works great.
Thanks again, Miss Mary Lou.
You're the
You're
best.
just the best.
What else do we put in Firefly that's good? I
Uh,
think that's most of it.
maca and ashwagandha are medicinal things.
But they taste bad.
No, they don't taste bad.
Ashwagandha
I
tastes
wouldn't eat it
bad.
alone. It tastes like chalk, but it's not.
And chalk tastes good?
Well, it's not the worst thing I've ever eaten. It's not like, well, I don't know.
Not my favorite. What's the other one? Maca tastes better than ashwagandha.
Maca is kind of like nut flavored.
Yeah.
I love cacao. We finally got a new batch in yesterday from Firefly.
Chaga.
It's so good.
Chaga is great too. When
Oh,
we have
chaga
it.
tastes so good.
I want to find chaga in the wild, but
We
we've
will.
not.
We will, because now we know where to look for birch trees, and I think it happens in the fall.
Do you use turmeric when you're cooking? Yes, we do
Yeah.
whenever we have it. But
Turmeric is great. I just got some turmeric tea today.
somebody keeps asking about if we've seen Bigfoot, and no. But funny story. I walk barefoot a high majority of the time, and one of our friends found us because he saw my bare footprints on this road by where we were camping. So he followed the footprints back to our camp.
He knew you're the only one in the area that would
Right.
walk barefoot. Jasmine, you guys are awesome. I love your channel. Thanks for the Firefly recommendation. I love ceremonial cacao now. Awesome. I'm so glad to hear that.
Yes, Miss Mary Lou, I am the fabled Bigfoot.
I mean,
I have
you
big
do
feet.
have very large feet.
Yeah, so if you need to get mail, most post offices offer like 6 months of P.O. box for up to $60, so like $10 a month.
It seems to be different everywhere you go.
Yeah.
But you could get a P.O. box in area we're in, it does 3-month PO boxes, so that's nice. It's more expensive, but when we were in Colorado, we had one for 6 months.
And you can also do general delivery to most post offices.
That's hard though, because they don't accept Amazon packages. Oftentimes, every post office is different too, so some will accept stuff. So, like, we were ordering dog food online at a place in Utah, and they wouldn't accept FedEx, who was at the time delivering the Amazon package, so they sent it back. But thankfully, we got to it as the FedEx truck was there, so we got it. But you have to check in with your post office, which is kind of a pain, but you just got to do it. Getting mail is a hard thing when you're moving around a lot.
Somebody said their Akitas say hi to our dog.
What's up? We were just talking about Akitas. That would be a cool dog if we get
Once we
more
get land, that would be a cool thing.
What a funny transition from our little tiny princess Peanut to a big bad Akita.
It'd be like Pinky in the Brain.
He's such a little funny boy. What would we name it?
I don't know.
There are some cool looking brindle Akitas.
What else? We had a couple other things to dig into if you want to, right?
Yeah, I'd say we usually stop after about 90 minutes, and we're at 81. We'll talk for 10
Oh,
more minutes.
the fun things that we've been looking at buying. And we've entertained them for a long time. We mentioned
guess
them for a second.
We
but
started talking about it, but the reason we haven't bought any of it is because we only have so much space.
And
So
we're
then
like
we
always
just
debating how to, like where we would put things and
then we just don't buy any of it.
yeah, even
We
like
just think about it.
even getting you a bike, then it's like I don't know. It would be we should totally do that. But the bike that we had for a while that you had was kind of a crap box. So I think that's like almost definite. Once we find a good bike, we need to get you that because that would be good for us.
Aaron, we looked at, I think, 3 or 4 different places. We looked at a couple where you live, and looked at a place where we live in town, and it was like the most unhelpful experience in the whole world. But they said that they're out of, what was the deal days?
Yeah.
What
demo days.
Oh, demo days. They said, I don't know when they happen. They just happen. So I don't know. But we've been looking. We want to ride bikes with you soon.
So that's one thing. But the other thing that we've been looking at is Suron, S-U-R-R-O-N. They're like electric motorbikes or like electric.
Oh no!
What?
I just hit someone on accident.
They're like electric mountain bikes.
I timed out Miss Mary Lou.
How did you do that?
I don't know. What? Miss Mary Lou, are you still here?
How did you?
My leg, my phone was
leg.
face down on my leg. Miss Mary Lou, are you here?
Well, clearly not.
Oh
She's
God,
so quick.
how do I get her back? Oh no, and Jerry, what do I do? Oh gosh.
We can't hide Miss Mary
no.
Lou. She's our.
How did I do that?
You deleted her. You deleted all of her messages. That's the worst.
Did I? Oh gosh.
Can you go down?
No.
Oh no.
Miss Mary Lou, I might have
Here,
to
let
go
me
back
play
in
with it.
settings.
You keep talking.
I'm so sorry. And Jerry, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to block anyone. All her messages are deleted. I'm so sorry.
I can unhide him.
Oh gosh. Oopsie daisy. Well, Miss Mary Lou, you're still great even though I blocked you. Matt's Rideshare PA and Life. Have you looked at trying the river turbine thing for electric? No. That was, I think, water lily.
Yeah.
We just aren't often by a creek
It's like
consistently
roaring like
enough to generate more than like 5 watts, so we might as well just stick out one of our 5-watt solar panels out in the sun. But if I had land with a creek flowing through it, totally. And I would love to check into maybe some wind turbine technology. However, it's not often windy. It is in the spring. I would love to do a bike pedal. I think I'm gonna have to go to my settings.
No, you timed her out for 300 seconds.
Oh, how long is that?
5 minutes or something.
Oh,
6
Miss Mary Lou, I'm
minutes.
so sorry. That's so funny. Hey, girl, my overalls are from Patagonia. They were just running a sale on them, too, like a few months ago. I don't know if it would still be.
Okay, I'm sorry, Miss Mary Lou, but in like 5 minutes you'll be able to be the best again. That
Susan
sucks.
Miller, thank you so much. Amanda, hello again. Thank you so much. I love all the Shiba emojis.
Sorry, I'm on my phone. I'm trying to get Miss Mary Lou back.
Nancy, I'm not doing pre-order jewelry at this time.
Will you do jewelry again?
I have been making jewelry. I've been in a kind of mental place with it lately. Trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
How did I get into crocheting? My friend Allie taught me how to crochet, and then I kind of went with it. And then we were all quarantined, or we were all stuck at home, during the sickness that's happening, and I just got bored, so I made that baby blanket. It just got delivered yesterday to your cousin. I hope she digs it.
Somebody asked if the Subaru is manual or automatic, and it's automatic. I prefer driving manual, but a lot of people have said, and research that I've done has said that the automatic transmissions hold up better when towing and off-roading, which, I think you could argue that either way, but at least you don't have to replace clutches and stuff.
Matt's Rideshare PA and Life Journeys. Elsa, I love all your wood stickers. I plan on getting the mountain one saying lost in the right direction as a tattoo. Whoa! Baron's beard tips help too. Awesome.
Sweet.
Look out for some new stickers coming up soon. Everybody. FYI. Oh my gosh, Kim. A drink for Miss Mary Lou. LOL.
Oh no, Miss Mary Lou.
Cheers.
She's
to Miss
probably
Mary
got
Lou.
300 seconds left in timeout. Her
Well,
accidental timeout.
I thought you said that it was only 300 seconds. I mean, she's posted the links so many times that we don't need her to. She's so good.
Yeah.
I just feel terrible that my leg. From Amanda again, thank you. Have you guys ever read Name of the Wind? Would love to send you a physical copy or ebook. My favorite book, and I know you guys like to read. No, I'm totally interested in that. Ebooks work a little better for us in the scamp.
I'm reading 1984 right now.
What do you think? That's an old one.
I'm only 40 pages into it, but it's pretty interesting so far.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would. I don't know. I think I will enjoy it, but it's kind of just getting rolling at this point.
I'm reading Plain Truth from my friend Sarah. She gave me a book. It's about Amish.
Any new hobbies or activities picked up recently? Woodworking.
Yes, we've been whittling.
Oh, I was thinking leatherworking, but I said woodworking, but yes.
Leather stuff, yeah, that's been cool.
We got a little whittling kit, which has been fun. I used to love to whittle when I was a kid, and it's been cool to get back into that.
Denver Sky, thank you.
And the bow.
The whittling,
archery has been really fun.
We've been using the wrong wood, so it's been kind of hard. I would love to go buy some softwood, like basswood, because it's softer, but we're around all these trees and stuff that I just feel like I don't want to go buy a piece of wood. But the trees around here have been not the easiest to start with.
Especially when it's wet, it's harder to work with. And the grain peels as you cut, it's hard to make detailed work and stuff because of all the fibers in the wood.
Everybody's saying props to 1984. They love 1984. It's been a minute. I think that was an 8th grade book for me.
I spark noted it.
So
I didn't
I.
actually
So
read
I want
it.
to read it and actually absorb it this time. Allison, do you think 50s are too old to start living this lifestyle?
No. Our friend just came by, and he's 73, and he's doing it by himself.
He's awesome.
And he boondocks all the time, too. He's super cool. So no, I don't think 50s is too old
Not
at
at
all.
all. I would say that's almost prime
Time,
because you've had your whole life to practice being a good person. Yeah, being a person. You've got wisdom, and I think honestly age would probably help as you do things less.
And you can do it your own way too. But yeah, we do move every 14 days or sooner. And we do that mostly just as like a respect thing, even if people haven't been around, just so that, I don't know, so that,
We don't take up any spots
right.
from people.
And I just think since that is available, it's good to follow the rules to some extent with that.
I think Miss Mary Lou's gone for good.
No, it said she was timed out.
Well,
How long is it?
There
There
she
she is! She's
is!
back!
yay! Everyone, cheers to Miss Mary Lou.
She's back!
I'm so sorry. How long were you blocked for?
I hope it
Shoot.
didn't block her old messages too, but
And I hope that I blocked someone else on accident too. Jerry, I think. I hope
he
you're-
was timed out too, but he should be
I'm
back.
so sorry. Thank you, chat, for being good while I was gone. How funny. Please do go check out her Twitch and listen to her sing. It's so awesome. Are you doing a live stream tonight, Miss Mary Lou? Or when's your next live stream? Twitch, the only reason I have Twitch is to go see you.
Oh, and I started playing the ukulele.
Oh yeah. It's so funny. You sit over in the hammock for 30 plus minutes. It's awesome. Just practicing. Do you
I
watch
suck at it.
tutorials?
Yes. I had to
So
grow out
cute.
my index fingernail so I could play because I got a blood blister on my finger the first time I tried to play it.
Miss Mary Lou said Tuesday, Thursday, Friday at 6:30 PST on Twitch. Fabulous. Thank you. Post your link as much as you want. Thanks again, Denver Sky.
What do we think of the removal of the magic bus?
Aw.
That was kind of a sad thing. That's an interesting question. I don't know. Man, that story. We're talking about, what is it? Into the Wild?
Yeah.
That story is like, it rips me every time but they took the bus out that he stayed in.
Come this way into the light a little bit.
And because people were traveling to it too often or something. But I don't know. I don't know what I think about it.
I know it's hard because I say that's nice for the land to not have people trekking out on it to go see this bus, but also it's kind of a cool, I mean,
I'm sure they'll put it somewhere and like make a thing.
Yeah, I would hope so. I'm sure, right? You would
I think so.
I wonder if it was people were trekking through private land or something. I don't know how I feel. People kept dying trying to get there.
That's
That'll
a
do it.
problem. Yeah.
Why? How did that even get there?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Cindy, wow, thank you so much. And Sue, where do you see yourself in 2 years?
That's so hard.
I know, because you think of all that's happened just in
Yeah.
6 months.
But what we've been doing has been working, and we're still like enjoying it as much as we've ever and more enjoyed it, just because we have everything dialed in. So I could do this for another 2 years easily. I think
It's interesting as we do this. We learn more about areas and kind of decide what types of land we would want to have and what would work for us. But something, I don't know, in my gut this whole year has said don't jump into anything. It's finally perfect. Like we finally really got it figured out. So now that we've got it figured out, would we want to, like, why step into the next thing? when we've been working these last few years to dial everything in. Once it is great, which is where it's at now, not that it wasn't before.
Yeah, but just
why would we
yeah, that's a
ditch
great
it
point.
for something else?
It's like, it makes me think of, I don't know, this is kind of a derailment, but I think it's an interesting metaphor. When I was a kid, my Mr. Potts was the best teacher in my high school. He was my biology teacher, and he made me like really, I always liked science and everything, but he really made me enjoy biology and like geeking out on all the things, and really brought it to like an understandable and fun level. So then, since everybody thought Mr. Potts was the best teacher, he was promoted to like vice principal, and then he didn't get to teach anymore. So he got so good at teaching that they promoted him out of teaching, and then he was a vice principal and didn't get to teach at all. You know, so it's interesting, like when you get good at something and like graduate from it, then you stop doing the thing that you were good at and you worked so hard at, and that's kind of,
I think it's good to graduate and like work toward the next step. We would like to expand in ways on our own land eventually and help other people do this. So it's not like we would be,
and host retreats and everything too.
So it's kind of leveling up.
Yeah.
I would like to do.
And all of this will, just like him, but all of this will like transfer forward into that too.
It's just I feel that there's no rush. And we were just talking about, as we look at land and consider that more, I'm learning more about what that means. And you're paying property tax. Even once the land is paid off, you're always going to pay property tax on it. And there's so many things I don't know, honestly. I'm so naive. But where was I going with that? I totally lost my train of thought. But that what we're doing right now is great.
Yeah, and
We'll
we're
get
just
there
getting better
eventually.
at this. So, but yeah, whenever that opens up, oh, it's called the Peter Principle. I didn't know that.
Oh.
Interesting. I didn't know it was a thing, but yeah, land, whenever we come into that, we're keeping our eyes very much open and scouting for it, and whenever we come into that, we'll jump in and it'll be great. And then we can go blast off and do this same thing whenever we choose to, but we're in no rush to get into that.
What I was thinking, the reason I said you'd still have to pay property tax and stuff, we were just talking about how I would love to, as long as we found land that you aren't required to build on, I would love to just continue doing this, but on our own land. It would be so nice to just have our own spot that we don't ever have to move from. However, it's so fun to travel and explore. So it's not like I'm in any hurry, but I'm down to just continue in 2 years to be still living in this camp, but on our own land would be a fun switch up.
And people ask all the time if we're going to upgrade to something else, or like, why don't we get a house? And I don't know, that'd be fun, but this is just excellent. Like even the spot that we're in right now, if our in much bigger of a camper, we couldn't have gotten down here.
We consider if we had land and this was our house on the land, it would be fun to have a van that then we can stock up
with all of our toys
and go out and come back, like go on 2-week trips. That would be fun.
Somebody said camp tour before we turn it off.
Okay. You guys are teaching us this lifestyle.
We would like to do that in a more physical form, like hosting retreats and stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you, Margaret.
Margaret, thank you.
Is the tall pole behind you? Yeah, that's an antenna for our Wii Boost. It's our cell booster.
I don't have a child. The child that you saw in a video is my friend's child.
Do they make a larger scamp? Yes, they make a 16 and a 19 foot. The 19 foot is like a truck bed, over truck bed deal. It's really cool.
And the Casita makes a 15 foot, is that right?
Yeah. Right, a 17.
Oh.
I think.
13 and 17?
And they're very cool too.
Yeah. My sister just got one. And her boyfriend took her.
Should we do a tour? How should we do it with the mic? Just hold it with 2 hands.
Yes, it might get a little... You
That's
know what,
okay.
I might take the mic out and we'll just end it here or after the tour. So Thank you all so much for being here. We're going to take you on a tour really quick, and then we're going to call it. You all are... This is just so fun to do live streams. It's been fun to have good internet to get to do this.
Does it sound way different when the mic is unplugged? We'll
It's not
unplug it now.
unplugged yet. Our unplugged microphone.
Does it sound bad now?
Hello. So far, it doesn't sound
Nobody
awful.
is complaining.
Okay.
They'll probably all come in a burst. Just quieter. No, it's better.
It's better, oh no. Okay.
And I'll bring the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So we can show them our live stream setup first.
Oh, Julie, thank you. From Olathe, Kansas. We love Joe Robinette too. Okay, let's turn this around.
There's sun.
Sunset.
Solar panels. Do you want to show them our little setup?
Oh yeah, I could do that. Panels, that is where we had battery charging.
This is the Boya mic.
We are using unlimitedville Wi-Fi.
And that's in my pocket. It's just a little hotspot.
Got the little scamp. Our stove. Didn't know we'd do a tour. Should have cleaned house a bit.
We'll do that real quick.
So this is the beautiful creek. It's so tiny and running this way, but I think this, well, definitely this was man-made because horses from a local stable come through here.
We could walk to the creek.
And go over here.
Should we go to the creek? Oh, fun tour.
And we walk forward. Give us some size perspective. Sorry about the audio. Maybe just look.
Ooh, a crawdad. Should I catch it?
What?
I'm gonna catch it.
I guess we're still going. LOL, this is my favorite live stream for sure. Consider land in the hills of West Virginia. That's a good idea. Did you get... oh my gosh. It's huge.
He's squishing me.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. It's so big.
He's not that big.
How did you see that?
With my eyeballs.
Oh my.
Once he... I didn't know that. I saw a shed, but that's kind of cool. Should I put it back?
Yes. Wow. That was so big.
No. That's pretty neat.
Here we are. Well, everyone, thanks for being here. We'll catch
Should we
you in the
flip it
next
around?
one. Hi, again. Thanks, you guys. We'll see you later.
Bye.
That's all I have to say.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
That was
Thank
fun.
you.
Maybe we'll live stream again soon.
Bye.